Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Reggaeton. Let's take care of some Crusade management. Great, this guy again. Commander, permission to report. Captain Harmon salutes you. We're short on soldiers. Any elation from taking Dresden is long gone. We now face the harsh reality of a drawn-out war. What was sufficient for an expeditionary force won't cut it for a proper army that needs to hold the territories around Dresden and still advance forward. Now that we've dealt with the wary and replenished our officer corps, we need more troops. I suggest we write a letter to Mendev and ask Her Majesty for a new draft. It'll take some time, a long time to be perfectly honest, but it's the most reliable option we have. Mendev is already giving everything it can spare to this war. I say we ask our priests to be more active with their preaching in other lands. Let them inspire more people to volunteer. A regular draft may not be enough. We have one permanently in effect as it is, which should suggest that the Crown recruit all who lost everything in the attack on Canabris and other cities. Instead of meager state-issued meals for these orphans and homeless refugees, they'll get army rations, a pair of boots, and a spear. It's not the best solution for them, and they won't be the best soldiers for us. Still, we have plenty of material to sift through and forge into solid combatants. Yeah, you won't get far on sheer enthusiasm. Fortunately, we have good coin to dress it up. Everyone who's ready to fight for lofty ideals is already here. It's time to call on those who would fight for gold. And what about the troublemakers from the wary? Do they criticize us still? Negative. Ever since you took those measures, we haven't heard a word from them. After your changes within the officers' ranks, the command staff is showing nothing but loyalty. But let's discuss our options in further detail. As you command. Sela, what's your plan? I traversed half the world to join the Crusades, and I'm sure that there are still plenty of souls all over Golarion who would join our ranks. We just need to get through to them. Let's send priests to preach in other states. And not just any priests, but those who've been on the front lines. They'll tell everyone of the horrors they've seen here, and how important it is to fight back against the Abyss. People volunteer once they see that this is a battle not for Mendev or Sarkoris, but for all of Golarion. You truly believe that people learning about what's happening in the World Wound will come running to volunteer? You think too highly of them. Upon hearing this preaching, most people will run in the other direction, as far and fast as they can. Regil, what do you suggest? At present, Canabris and other cities that withstood assaults are teeming with orphans, the homeless, and refugees. Survivors who lost all they had. They live off the crown in tents, sustained by handouts. Get them to the front lines. They're not the most optimal manpower pool, as it is unlikely they would have volunteered. But they have nothing to lose, and will gain an influx of recruits as well as save Mendev from having to waste funds on citizens, and provide them with no benefit. You take advantage of those people's plight in order to bolster our ranks. The poor folks you speak of have suffered tragedy. They should be recovering and restoring their faith in life, not thrown into a demon's maw. Darren, your opinion please. My advice is simple. Don't be stingy. We're practically asking people to jump into a demon's gullet. Sure, there are kooks who would do just that for some high ideals, and there are those who can be coerced by force. Nevertheless, mortals have yet to invent a better incentive than a shiny coin. If we offer the volunteers sufficiently high pay, they'll sign up in droves. We can't rely on the loyalty of mercenaries. They're eager to come and fill their pockets, but they're just as eager to abandon us once they are faced with real danger. I've seen it happen time and again. We need true soldiers, those who can't imagine life outside the army, obey without a second thought, and if necessary, die without regret. Captain Harmon, what would you advise? For situations like this, we have direct instructions from the Queen. May her reign last forevermore. We should write to Nerosian and ask Her Majesty to announce a new draft in order to send reinforcements. Of course, the plan will require time, but there's no question that it'll deliver results. There's no telling how many more recruits the Queen can scrape together through a regular draft. Mendev has already given us the best and most enthusiastic. It's time for the rest to do their part. Thank you. Everything is clear. What are your orders? Cecilia will give us preachers. Recruitment growth for trainable units increases by 7% for 20 days. Regil gives us Refugees Recruitment. Recruitment growth for trainable units increases by 20% for 14 days. Crusade morale reduces by 20. Then Darren is Generous Recruiters. The number of available mercenary units increases by 1 for 14 days. That just gives you one more option when you look at the mercenary pool when you're recruiting units. And Harmonin gives us Royal Conscription. Recruitment growth for trainable units increases by 10% for 14 days. Yeah, I think we'll go with option 5. I think roleplay-wise, that's probably the best option for a lawful good paladin. And one who's trying to romance Galfrey. Captain Harmonin. Follow Her Majesty's instructions. Request reinforcements from Mendev. I'll probably never use these anyway, so it doesn't really matter which one I take. Affirmative. I'll send a messenger to Nerosian today. I'm certain that Her Majesty won't abandon us. Thank you, Commander. I'll report on the measures we implement and the results in due time. I'll call for the Council to be reconvened if we encounter any further difficulties. Captain Odin. Commander, we've managed to defeat Karamzada's host. The remnants of his army have retreated to lick their wounds. We must use this opportunity to go on the offensive. But right now our army is not fully prepared to begin such an expansion. The farther we advance into the enemy territory, the more we'll need strong and mobile cavalry. I propose to replenish our forces with light cavalrymen. Mendev could offer us plenty. There are many lone paladins of Golarion, like me, who travel and help the needy. So I call on them to our aid. Cavalry is a crucial element of the army, one that's difficult to replace. Mendevian knights often sacrifice their defense in favor of offensive power, and it is time to put an end to this wastefulness. All riders must be encased in heavy cuirassier armor, so as to avoid unnecessary losses. So I think this is one of the harder choices in the game. All these cavalry units that we can upgrade to are strong in their own right. In my long and productive life, I've taken assignments involving knights, nomads, and other targets who enjoy prancing about on horses. And let me tell you, the hardest of those targets were hedge knights. They're true dogs of war who don't have a homeland. But what they do have is experience and a sharp blade. If you need cavalry, I say they're your guys. So hedge knights are called that because they don't have a lord they're loyal to. And they call it hedge knights specifically because they would sleep under any hedge or tree they had on the road when they're campaigning. A cavalry. Now they're always a serious threat on the battlefield, not just riders on horseback. The fiercest fighters out of all the cavalry I've ever seen are the wolf riders from the Verdurin Forest. Maybe we could try to recruit them. Now, I haven't actually seen them, I don't know if they're any good. But the rest of them, the paladins, the cuirassiers, hedge knights, light cavalry, I have used, I think. And they still weren't bad. I want to hear the opinions of my advisors. Everyone looks at you expectantly. Sela, what advantages do paladins offer? Gods have blessed them with strength, protected them against darkness and corruption. They spend their whole lives training and performing great deeds. Destroying evil is what they live for. That's what they do better than anyone. Regil, why do you advocate for cuirassiers? There's a certain breed of fighter who thinks that the glory they win on the battlefield justifies any amount of risk. That may be acceptable for them, but is not acceptable for their commanding officers. Wasting cavalry and daring attacks only saps the strength of our own army. We must see to it that all riders are equipped with the best armor, the kind that will provide the highest chance of survival on the battlefield. I'd also advise against recruiting any glory seekers or protectors of high ideals to serve as our cavalry, for the aforementioned reasons. Captain Odin prims his lips and says forcefully, the riders of Mendev aren't accustomed to fearing for their hides. Your demands, Regil, may lead them to believe that you don't trust them, or even worse, suspect them of cowardice. Greybor, what makes hedge knights so good in a battle? I once had a contract to kill a highborn baron, a famed warrior, never went anywhere without an escort. So I prepared an ambush for his entourage on a forest road, in the dark. The screams of that baron when he and his force fell into the spiked pit. And above him, there was a slaughter going on. I showed myself, split open the head of the nearest guard, and darted into the bushes. They followed, right into my traps. Crossbows, wooden stakes sticking out of the ground, all sorts of things. Arrows flying about, everyone shouting. They made such a racket they scared themselves. They thought they'd been hit by a whole gang of assailants. In any case, the knights who served the Baron because of their oath got the jitters and bolted. Even his kin. But the 2 hedge knights he hired fought like wild beasts. Those were worthy opponents indeed. It's simple. They know that if they don't win, they don't get a single coin. Hedge knights are seasoned folk. They've been around. Dangerous too. They fight for victory and gold, not for honor or glory. They don't care if their tactics are cheap. If they can kill the enemy, they will. I doubt the people you've described even have the right to call themselves knights. I'm not keen on fighting side by side with someone who sees the Crusades as a chance to make a fortune. Obrig, who are the Wolf Riders? The Verduran Forest is a perilous place, and the people who live there are harsh folk. They're almost like us. They fight against all kinds of wild fae, overgrown bugs, and other oglins. One of the groups that live in that forest is a halfling tribe. But the gods denied them in stature, they more than make up for in ferocity. And they're wolf riders. They're like beasts astride beasts. The point is, they're well used to cutting off oglin heads in their forest. They'll fit it right in here. A warrior size is no obstacle to prowess by any means, but the notion of wolves as mounts does not stand up to scrutiny. They cannot wear any proper armor, and without it, their first battle will be their last. Captain Odin, what are the benefits of light cavalry? Light cavalry may be inferior to knights as far as equipment quality goes, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. First, the lightness of the armor gives them maneuverability, and secondly, many noble offspring who have battle skills and a fast horse, but can't afford expensive armor, will gladly answer our call, eager to earn glory with their feats. So long as they don't flee the battlefield first on those very same fast horses. They're lovers of glory and easy victories. Everything is clear to me now. Your advisors nod respectfully in response to your words. Oh, battering ram attack. That's what all cavalry get. So do they get 2 attacks? Is that what I'm seeing here? Yeah. Well, as a paladin, I'm going to go with paladins. I don't think I've picked paladins before, have I? I don't think so. So the paladins, cavalry capable of healing allies. The cuirassiers are well-protected, tenacious cavalry. The hedge knights, effective shock cavalry. They have a crit chance, kind of like the champions do. Wolf riders, a savage and fast cavalry. And light cavalry, lightly armed but maneuverable and fast cavalry. Alright, I hope the paladins won't let us down. I haven't let you down, and they won't either. Well, you kind of have, since you couldn't detect evil like 5 times. With that, this meeting of the military council is adjourned. I'll brief the officers on the expected reinforcements immediately, and see to it that our available stables are expanded and properly refitted. I do need to build the stables in the first place. Marco. So many strange, terrible things are happening here. Marco, a fisherman from the tiny, peaceful village of Chili Creek, enters the hall. I saw enough horrors on my way here to last a lifetime. But of course, I didn't show up empty-handed. The whole village took up a collection for the war effort. It's not much, mind you, but it's something. We're just doing our part, however small, to help you win the war. How did you get here? By pure luck, I figure. You're surrounded by all this horror. The land is dead, the trees are all gnarled and twisted. There are monsters roaming around everywhere, ready to jump out at you at any moment. Thankfully, I ran into a Crusader patrol, and they brought me here. If it wasn't for them, it would have ended my trip in the teeth of some nasty beast. That's for sure. How are things in the village? Everything's been peaceful and quiet. I get wistful just thinking about it. Now I'm kicking myself for being such a fool. Why didn't I just stay at home? What was I thinking? Dragging myself all the way out here to the world wound. But you know, it's just not right, sitting home quietly, hiding behind the heroes who risk their necks for us every day. So I decided to pay you a visit. How's Jernoff doing? He's settling in, that's for sure. Almost one of us now. Heals the sick, fixes the nets with the others. Before you know it, he'll be learning how to swim. The fisherman chuckles good-naturedly. Would you like to stay here with us? No thank you. Hate to say it, but I'm no crusader. Fighting demons is not really my thing. I'll get some rest before I head out. Take a day or two to look around the fortress. It'll give me some stories to tell. Then I'll head home to Chili Creek. I've already seen more on this trip than I've seen in a lifetime. Anyway, you better come back to see us. We'll be waiting. Thanks for coming to visit. Thank you for defending our peace and quiet. The fisherman bows respectfully. We've gathered up something else for you heroes, but I couldn't bring it with me. It was too heavy to carry. Come to our village, and you can pick it up yourself, and pay us a visit while you're at it. We're always glad to see you. Well, I'll see you later. Good luck with all the fighting. So we will head to Chili Creek next instead of Winter Sun. I like keeping the east of the map cleared out of quests. And the commander we trust. Swindlers have started a rumor that the commander is a saint. The gullible soldiers are now buying their charms that allegedly contain his hair, cut nails, and other holy relics. Yeah, we'll do this one. So we can get 3,500 leadership experience points, which is lawful. We can get 20 Crusade morale. We get the Holy Ward's Decree, or the Buy a Cloak support the Crusade Decree. Finance income increases by 20. Finance points income, I should say. And Holy Wards, energy points income increases by 1, Crusade morale increases by 25. So I do think this is the best option here, because the experience for the Crusade stats are very important. Especially if you want to max them all out in Act 3, or at least max them out as far as you can in Act 3. There's an achievement for it that I still haven't gotten. But let's fill the fill the fake charms with real power. The Commander's Blessing will fill the false relics with power. Once the Crusaders receive this gift, they'll find new hope and pray to the gods with even greater devotion. I'm losing my spot. So this is the angel-specific option, because normally it's, you know, good, bad, companion is the fourth one, and then the third one is your mythic path. So I chose that one because I won't see it again. Nothing else I can do. I guess we could just go to activate this. It takes 5 days. Doesn't cost anything. So glory to the heroes. Warriors stuck in the middle of nowhere fighting vicious monsters have to remember why they are fighting and what they are sacrificing their lives for. The soldiers' loyalty will raise once the clerics praise them in front of the gods' eyes. We don't need to do this because our morale's maxed out. So all you have to do to keep your morale up is keep winning battles. You really don't have to manage it.
I'm gone.
I guess we'll rest up. Then set out towards Chili
Here's
Creek.
an interesting fact. To dissolve a body in acid cheaply and without the use of magic, you simply need to...
Go slower, please. It looks like it's my turn to start making note of interesting facts.
Lann rubs the reptile side of his face, picking at the scales with his claw. That's it, Commander. I can't do it anymore. I'm not a chief. What happened? I can't handle it. I thought it'd be my people crying to you, but it turns out it's me. I just don't know how to make the right decisions. Let's try and figure out how to deal with your problems. Alright. First of all, Erin, a girl from the tribe, wants to marry an elf. When do they even have time to get together? It feels like I'm the only one without a love life around here. Anyway, she needs the chief's blessing. They want to be married by the laws of the tribe, but I won't do it. He's an elf. She's a mongrel. Letting them marry means dooming them to eternal misery. It's wrong. But if I don't marry them, I'll be making her miserable now. If she has a short life, may as well make her happy while you can. My second problem. Fivefolds are so afraid of demons that they've hid in the sewage system and refuse to come out. I tried talking to them. Pointless. I can't just drag them out. I had a plan to lure them out with food. I think they found some down there. The rats here are definitely bigger than what we're used to. And the third problem. What should we do with the children and old people? This is a military campaign. Old people can do some household chores. The kids only get under everyone's feet. I have no idea what to do. You see, I'm not a chief. I'm probably the first person to ever ask this, but demote me, please. The first problem. Love is always a good thing, right? But how do I approve of a marriage between an elf and a mongrel? She'll be dead in 20 years or so, but he'll live for 1,000 years more. I can't in good conscience bless them. I can't stand in the way of their happiness either. So I forgot how to get his good ending. I think it's encouraging him to talk or think for himself. Like trusting in him. You have to hurt someone, either yourself or them. Decide which one you are more willing to do. Sounds like a plan that should at least be considered. Darn it. I was hoping my problems were unsolvable. The second problem. I think maybe I should just throw a barrel of powder into the sewers and light the fuse. It's the only way to get those cowards out of there. But if I do that, then you'll get another fuse. And I don't think I'll like where you stick that one. Yeah, I'm not sure what the correct option is. I've gotten the good ending for his quest before. But you definitely have to encourage him to be a chief, and you have to show that you trust him. And I feel like Lann should like the lawful option, since he is lawful neutral. Yeah, we'll settle this issue later, when we need them to fight. It can wait for now. That easy, huh? But maybe it could really work. Fine, I admit it. I just didn't want to think about all this. My head is spinning. The third problem. For some reason, excuse me, I never thought the entire tribe would come up to the surface. I'll never picture the warriors up here. What do I do with the rest? I guess we could use the hungry infants to deafen the enemy. They scream so loud you can hear them behind the walls of Dresden. I can't think of what to do with the others. Do we want to split them up, though? Yeah, probably. I'll send all those who can't fight to Nerosian. They'll be taken care of there. I'll still worry about them. I guess that's what it means to be chief, right? Nothing to it. Here's a lesson from one commander to another. Don't be afraid of making your own decisions, but know that you can always talk to me. Land size. Alright, lesson learned. I'll try to be as good as you, so the individual decisions there didn't matter, it's just what you say at the end. It's not the poor folks' fault they got stuck with the most useless chief in all Golarion, maybe the adjacent plains too. A chief who's extraplanarily bad, I'd say. I can say extraplanar. Alright, and away we go. We'll make it to Chili Creek. The next time we'll enter Chili Creek and take care of the quest there. We've got 2 armies to deal with. I will buy... Yeah, we'll buy what we need to build the stables. It's time to start recruiting some paladins. Unless we can already afford it. I'll try to put them over here instead. Next to the smithy. Two days and 1 hour. Yeah, I always take the fights. I was thinking about skipping it just for expediency's sake. Oh, it's just spiders.
No glory without
You crossed the wrong mongrel. We do it my way.
Plus, that's 100 gold we just made. Plus the experience we got. Oh, whoops, I forgot to move that army back. I misclicked. Oh man, cut it in half. That's alright. I have a reason to actually do that decree that increases our Crusade morale. No, we're gonna fight this one out. We owe it to him for taking out our units. The next time we get Master Maneuver, I will take it so I can add paladins to that army. It might be the default feat next time, because you get to pick a feat usually, and then you also get a feat on level up. Most of the time. Let's see, we're going to go all the way down here. Has to be a faster way. Oh yeah, I didn't get that before. Oh, that sounds like the present, right? I guess I said it in this. Let's go back and grab that. Hi, carcass of an unknown creature. Oh, we can loot back up. That didn't let me come down. By the way, that's convenient. Gigantic misshapen bones rise from the ground. Hardly anyone in Galarian has seen such a creature alive, which is a blessing. You can procure some reagents for creating consumable items here. Is it really the fastest way?
Hey, Social, if you paint my portrait, will your goddess curse you for blasphemy?
How could a portrait of a friend be blasphemy? If you truly want me to, I'd be glad to paint you.
Careful, Lann. Sosu has a hard time taking no for an answer. Actually, I don't ever noticed he had like a bat ear. I guess that lines up, because Wenduag is like 3 creatures mixed together, like a human or at least a bipedal creature, a spider, and a cat. So I guess lizard, bat, human, but I mean, Kofi got abilities more tied to his like lizard and bat forms. Like if you got like echolocation or something, because he's a bat, and bonus armor class because he does have natural armor +2, being a mongrel. All right, I'm gonna call it here, and next time we'll enter Chili Creek and visit them once again, and then we'll try to get to Winter Sun after that. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.